Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Wednesday, July 23rd. Coming up on Cullman Today, Myrex and Hollingsworth officially headed to District 12 runoff on August 12th. Clark and Stevenson are elected to Ballin Town Council, and the passing of former Cullman County Coroner. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Republicans Cindy Myrex and Clint Hollingsworth are officially headed for a runoff, as neither topped 50% of the vote in the State House District 12 special primary election. The primary was held Tuesday, July 15th, with Myrex garnering 49.81% of the vote. She had a slim chance of avoiding a runoff with the counting of provisional ballots yesterday. The Cullman County Board of Registrars reviewed the 20 total provisional ballots, deeming 9 to be valid. Of those, Myrex received 3 additional votes to Hollingsworth's 6. After those votes were counted, Myrex had 49.77%, with Hollingsworth coming in at a total of 43.28%. Myrex was 11 votes shy of the 50% threshold. The State House District 12 special primary runoff election for the seat previously held by Representative Corey Harbison of Good Hope will take place Tuesday, August 12th. The winner will face Democrat Matthew Glover in the State House District 12 special general election on Tuesday, October 28th. The Tribune has invited Myrex and Hollingsworth to appear in a live debate at the Tribune office on August 9th. The first order of business at this month's Ballin Town Council meeting concerned filling the vacant position on the council. Stephen Clark was the sole nominee for Place 2 and was voted in unanimously and began fulfilling his duties immediately. Clark succeeds former Councilman James Sanford. Likewise, Edith Stevenson was nominated and elected for Council Place Number 3, effective November 3rd of this year. Stevenson will be taking the place of Councilman Tony Duke, who opted to end his tenure on the council at the conclusion of the current term. In other business, discussion took place around plans for a new culvert and water line to help divert water from County Road 1614. Resolutions were passed approving the election of the mayor and unopposed council members, discussion of the 2026 fiscal year budget, as well as a change in accounting software, and contractors for the Ballin Farmers Market project updated the council. The next meeting of the Ballin Town Council is scheduled for August 18th at 7 p.m. The Cullman Police Department has announced the loss of former Cullman County Coroner and longtime Cullman PD Reserve Officer Gary Murphree. According to CPD's social media post, Murphree served the department and community for over 40 years as a reserve officer from 1981 until 2022. They said that he will be remembered for his commitment to public service and his unwavering support of law enforcement. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up next, more than 130 players turn out for the 3rd annual Ballin Like a Bulldog Youth Skills Camp. Sports is next. Welcome back. Let's tip off today's sports segment with a recap from one of this summer's biggest local youth basketball camps. The 3rd annual Ballin Like a Bulldog Youth Basketball Skills Camp was held in Hanceville Monday and Tuesday, and one gym wasn't enough to contain the turnout. 132 young players made their way to this year's camp and were split between Hanceville High School's Lane Horton Gymnasium and the Hanceville Middle School gym. After spending 2 days at camp, participants went home with a new basketball and goodie bags filled with school supplies, hygiene products, and candy. 69 local businesses or community members donated to camp in one way or another, and 61 kids were sponsored so they could attend. The proceeds from this year's camp went toward a new storage building for the Hanceville Youth Basketball Association. The building will be very helpful in storing some of the new equipment purchased with the funds from last year's camp. Near the end of Tuesday's session, Wallace State's men's basketball coach Farron Key joined all the campers in Lane Horton Gymnasium to talk about the importance of communication and lead some of them in drills. The Lions claimed the regular season and tournament championships in the ACCC last season, and Key said communication was one of the biggest factors in his team's success. Camp Director Brittany Coker began the event in 2023, and it has grown even more important to her with each passing year. Brittany believes that people are quick to highlight the negatives in Hanceville, so she's excited and proud to see her community come together to give back for a great cause. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, staying safe in the summer heat, the next Chamber Lunch and Learn, OmniPlex celebrates grand opening, and Hanceville Elementary shows off its renovations. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. With extreme heat and humidity continuing across our area, it's important to know the signs of heat-related illnesses and how to prevent them. Heat cramps are often the first warning sign. They cause muscle spasms during or after strenuous activity. Sipping water and resting in a cool spot can help. Heat exhaustion is more serious and happens after several days of heat exposure, especially with limited hydration. Watch for heavy sweating, cramps, fatigue, dizziness, headache, or nausea. If symptoms appear, stop all activity. Find a cool place and rehydrate with water or a sports drink, not alcohol or caffeine. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. If someone has a high body temperature, hot, dry skin, confusion, or loses consciousness, call 911 immediately and begin cooling them with water or shade. To prevent heat-related illnesses, stay hydrated. Avoid strenuous activity during peak heat. Wear light, loose-fitting clothing and sunscreen, and take breaks in the shade. Remember, heat can affect anyone, but children and older adults are especially at risk. Stay safe out there. The Cullman Chamber's next Lunch and Learn will focus on human resources in a small business. This will be an informative session on important items small business owners need to be doing, planning, and communicating to their employees, a checklist for current actions and future planning. Attendees will be entered in a drawing for 2 hours of free consultation provided by key HR partners. This event is free and open to the public and is sponsored by CMP Accounting. Bring your lunch and learn from 11:30 to 12:30 at the Cullman Area Chamber on Tuesday, July 29th. This weekend is your chance to explore everything OmniPlex during the grand opening Friday, July 25th through Sunday, July 27th with open gym free play, basketball, pickleball, dodgeball, volleyball, or just take a few walking laps. The OmniPlex, a stadium, arena, and sports venue, is located at 1634 Field of Miracles Drive Southwest in Cullman. Hanceville Elementary is hosting an open house Thursday, July 24th at 2 p.m., followed by a ribbon cutting ceremony at 3. The school is excited to reveal their renovations and offer a chance for those who attended or worked at Hanceville Elementary to tour the old building. The school is located at 799 Commercial Street Northeast in Hanceville. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week. Memorial service for Raymond Walter Kenna, Jr., age 70 of Cullman, are incomplete at this time and will be announced at a later date. Silva June Mathis McGookin, age 88 of Cullman, passed away on Sunday, July 20th. Funeral service will be at 1 p.m. today at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home, burial at Cullman City Cemetery. Visitation will be from 11 to 1 today, also at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. Evelyn K. Adderhold of Hoover passed away on July 21st at the age of 86. A celebration of life memorial service will be held Sunday, July 27th at 2 p.m. at Moss Service Funeral Home. Evelyn's family will receive friends from 12 to 2. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a moment to look ahead at your weather forecast. Today will be sunny with a high near 92, heat index values as high as 102, a chance of showers in the late afternoon. Tonight mostly clear with a low around 72. Thursday sunny with a high near 90 and a 40% chance of showers and storms after 1 p.m. Thursday night partly cloudy with a low around 72. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. But until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.